Okay, so picture this. Doctors are stumped by a wound that just refuses to heal, and then bam, along comes this new discovery. It's like it's like science just handed us the cheat code for some of the biggest problems in medicine.
Yeah, it really feels that way.
We're diving deep today into a recent article all about a brand new cell discovered by some scientists down in Australia.
Right.
And get this discovery has been over a century in the making.
It really is groundbreaking
A
stuff.
century. Wow. That's wild. They finally found what they were looking for in the aorta of adult mice, and the name of the game is endomac progenitor cells.
EndoMac progenitor cells.
Endomac progenitor cells. All right. I know it sounds a little intimidating at first, but these little guys are like the ultimate multitaskers of healing.
Yeah, they're pretty amazing. They can actually turn into two very specific cells, endothelial cells and macrophages.
Okay, so endothelial cells and macrophages. Just a quick refresher for those of us who haven't looked at a cell diagram in a while. What do those do again?
So endothelial cells are what make up your blood vessels. They're the builders, you could say. They're creating the network that brings oxygen and all those good nutrients throughout the body.
Gotcha. So no healing without a good network. That makes sense. What about macrophages? I like to think of them as the body's very own waste removal team.
Exactly. They're like the cleanup crew, constantly on patrol looking for anything that shouldn't be there, like dead cells, bacteria, things like that.
Yeah.
They get rid of it all. And that's super important for keeping inflammation in check and preventing any nasty infections, two things that are absolutely crucial for healing.
Okay, I think I'm getting it. So these endomac cells, they're like those first responders you see after a disaster. They can instantly jump into action and become either a construction worker to rebuild or a medic to treat injuries. Is that kind of how it works?
That's a great analogy. And it's that flexibility and efficiency that makes them so unique. We haven't really seen anything quite like it.
And the fact that they were found in adult mice, does that tell us anything important?
Oh, that's actually huge. It really challenges our old ideas about how macrophages are made. You see, we always thought they came from stem cells in the bone marrow, but this research suggests that these endomac cells already living in the blood vessels might be a major source.
Wow. So we're potentially rewriting the textbooks here, always exciting. But what makes these endomac cells so special? How are they different from the stem cells we already know about?
Well, you see, stem cells, they have the potential to become almost any cell in the body. They're like blank slates. But these endomac cells, they're more specialized. They're laser focused on those two crucial jobs for tissue repair, building those blood vessels and cleaning up the damage.
So specialists in the art of healing, that's fascinating.
Exactly.
Okay, specialized healers, got it. But why should we be getting so worked up over a couple of specialized cells in mice? What's the big takeaway for you and me?
Imagine this. You have a diabetic patient who's dealing with a wound that just won't heal.
Mm.
Nothing seems to be working, and it's starting to look pretty bad.
Okay. Yeah.
But then we introduce these endomac cells directly into the wound, and suddenly things take a turn for the better.
Now you're speaking my language. I do remember reading about those experiments with diabetic mice in the article, and the results were pretty impressive, to say the least.
They're incredible. Diabetic mice are kind of known for being bad healers. But when they receive these endomac cells, their wounds healed much faster than those who didn't.
Seriously, that's amazing. Are we talking like days faster, weeks faster? What kind of timeline are we working with here?
No, it's still really early, but those initial results showed a huge improvement in healing time. Just imagine being able to significantly speed up the healing process, not just for diabetic ulcers, but for all sorts of injuries.
Okay, so faster recovery from sports injuries, burns, surgeries, the possibilities are endless.
Exactly. And here's another thing that's got researchers really excited. It seems like these endomac cells might have a way of dodging the immune system.
So they're like stealth healers sneaking in under the radar.
You got it. This ability to basically go undetected could be a game changer for transplants. Usually when you introduce foreign cells into the body, the immune system freaks out, sees them as invaders, and attacks them. But if these endomac cells can bypass that whole immune response, it opens up some really incredible possibilities for using them in transplants without worrying about rejection.
Wow. Okay, so faster healing and potentially no more rejection issues. Are we talking about the dream team of medical breakthroughs here? But let's talk about getting this from mice to humans. What are the next steps to make this a reality for treating people?
The good news is the research team is already on it. They're searching for similar endomac-like cells in other types of tissue like skin and muscle.
Makes sense.
But the big question, the million-dollar question is, can we find these cells in humans?
Have they had any luck so far?
They found some promising clues that suggest these cells might actually be present in human tissue.
No way.
If they can isolate and study these cells in humans, it could be the start of a whole new chapter in regenerative medicine.
That's mind-blowing, but I'm sure there's still a lot we don't know. What are some of the biggest challenges or questions that researchers are trying to figure out right now?
One of the biggest hurdles is understanding exactly how these cells work their magic. What makes them transform into endothelial cells or macrophages? What signals tell them where to go and what to do? We need to crack their communication code to really unlock their full potential.
So it's like we're trying to decipher a secret language,
hmm
and this language could hold the key to unlocking some incredible healing abilities. It really is like trying to crack a code, isn't it? And this code could hold the secrets to unlocking our body's full healing potential.
Absolutely. And then there's the whole challenge of taking what we learn and turning it into actual therapies, treatments that are both safe and effective.
Right. Because even if we manage to find these endomac cells in humans, figuring out how to use them, that's a whole other puzzle.
Exactly. We need to figure out the best way to deliver them, how many cells to use, how often to give the treatment. There's a lot to consider.
It's like we're trying to write the instruction manual for a brand new medical marvel.
That's a good way to put it.
Right.
And of course, we can't forget about all the testing that needs to happen, rigorous clinical trials. Before any treatment using these endomac cells can be available to the public, it has to go through extensive checks to make sure it's both safe and effective.
Of course, we've got to make sure these treatments are both effective and safe in the long run. So even though it sounds like we won't be scheduling our endomac injections anytime soon, it really does feel like we're on the verge of something big here.
It does, doesn't it? It's like we've got this map to a hidden treasure. We know there's something incredible out there, but we're still trying to figure out how to navigate the terrain and overcome all the obstacles in our way.
But that's part of what makes this so exciting, right? This whole journey of discovery, constantly learning, pushing the boundaries of what we thought was possible. Who knows what other secrets our bodies are hiding, just waiting for us to find them.
Exactly. And that's what I love about this field. It's this constant process of discovery driven by curiosity and this desire to make a difference to alleviate human suffering.
Yeah.
It's a privilege to witness these breakthroughs and to imagine the kind of impact they could have on the future of medicine.
Couldn't agree more. It really is like we're standing at the edge of a new frontier, looking out at a future where our bodies can heal in ways we never thought possible.
And that future might be closer than we think.